Okay, guys, moving on with video 16. We're at number 6 here. So we have a rectangle that we're going to rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise. So that rule is for 90 degrees going clockwise, we have x, y. We're going to rotate it to negative y, x. Okay, so t, we've got negative 1, 2, 3, negative 1. U, we've got 0, negative 2. V, we've got negative 2, negative 8. Oh, that's not in the image. V, sorry about that. W, negative 5, negative 7. Okay. So now we're going to follow that rule, switching the x and the y, but that y now becomes the opposite sign. So with t being negative 3, negative 1, we switch these. This y becomes the opposite sign. So we switch it to positive 1, and then that negative 3 for x is the same. Okay. So for u, we've got 0, negative 2. So we're going to switch them. This y becomes the opposite sign. So negative 2, the opposite is positive 2, and then 0. Okay, v, we've got negative 2, negative 8. Switch them. This becomes opposite, so positive 8, negative 2. And w, we've got negative 5, negative 7. So we are going to switch them. And this number becomes opposite, so positive 7, negative 5. So graphing the new image, we've got 1, negative 1, 2, 3. That's t. U, we've got 1, 2, 0. V, we've got 8, negative 2. And W, we've got 7, negative 5. So you can almost see how it just turns there. It's rotating that 90 degrees. Okay, number 7. Number 7, we're rotating 180 degrees, so this is the easy one. So it is, or the rule is, if we have x, y, we rotate it to the opposite, negative x, negative y. So m, we have 1, 7, 7. And the opposite of that would be negative 1, 7. Okay, n, we have 8, 5. Opposite of that will be negative 8, negative 5. O, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And opposite of that is negative 4, negative 2. And then P, we've got negative 1, 2, 3, positive 1, 2, 3. So the opposite of negative 3 is positive 3, and the opposite of positive 4 is negative 4. So plotting our new image, we've got negative 1, negative 7, 4, m, negative 8, negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 2 for O, and for P we've got positive 3, negative 1, 2, 3, 4. That one is rotated 180 degrees. Okay. Number 8. Because of time, since I'm in the middle of my plan, I cannot keep drawing them, but I can go through and do the points with you. So for number 8, it's going to rotate 270 degrees counterclockwise. So for the rule for that is x, y becomes y, and then the opposite of that x. Okay, so if you've got, and you have to draw these, by the way, in your notes. If you've got 0, -2, your points are going to switch, and that x becomes the opposite. So -2, and the opposite of 0 is just 0, so that stays the same. Okay, h, you've got 7, -6, switch, that x becomes the opposite. So -6, and the opposite of +7 is -7. And then I is 3, -8. So you switch, and that 3 becomes a negative, or becomes the opposite. So we have -8, the opposite of +3 is -3. All right. So those are going to be the coordinates for the new image. Number 9, we've got a square, and we're rotating it 90 degrees counterclockwise. So the rule for 90 degrees is if we've got x, y, it rotates to -y, x. The opposite of y, x. Okay, so number 9, we've got -7, 5. So we've got a switch, and the y becomes the opposite sign. So that's -5, -7. For B, -4, 7. Switch it. The y becomes the opposite, so -7, -4. C, -2, +4. So they switch, and the y becomes the opposite sign. So the opposite of 4 is -4 and -2. So this is the same for x. Okay, and D, -5, 2. Switch it, becomes the opposite. So -2, -5. Okay, number 10, we are rotating it 180 degrees. So it's one of the easier ones. For 180 degrees, it is going to, the rule is, it just switches. So x, y now becomes the opposite of x and the opposite of y. So -3, -5, the opposite of -3, -5 is 3, 5. The opposite of 1, -1 is -1, +1. Okay, the opposite of 3 is -3. Opposite of -3 is 3. And for Z, the opposite of -1 is 1. Opposite of -7 is 7. So those should be your coordinates for your new image. All right, moving on to the last two. Number 11, we are rotating 270 degrees clockwise, or counterclockwise. So the rule is x, y. So now we're going to rotate to y negative, and the opposite of negative, or the opposite of x, goodness gracious. Okay, so for D, we've got 4, 5, switches, x becomes the opposite. So 5, -4. For E, we've got 6, -2. Switch them. This x value becomes the opposite. So -2, -6. And F, we've got 1, -2. Switch. Opposite. -2, -1. Those will be the points of your new image. You need to draw both of them. The original image, so the pre-image and the image. All right, our last one here before your homework for your practice is a trapezoid. So we are rotating 180 degrees. So x, y just becomes the opposite. -x, -y. So R, we've got -6. Opposite of that is 6. 7, opposite is -7. S, opposite of -3 is 3. Opposite of 5 is -5. T, opposite of -2 is 2. There's no opposite of 0. It just stays 0. U, Opposite of negative 8 is 8, and opposite of 4 is negative 4. Okay, so go ahead and work on your practice. It is your homework. It is due.